Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Monday. I am finally back. And if you missed last week's weekly, don't worry. We got you covered in 5 minutes or less. That's right. We read the news, the business news, the weird news, and well, why is there 800 pounds of peanut butter on the floor type of news so you don't have to ruin your weekend obsessing over it. Last week, we started with a story straight from Credit Banc, where we helped a longtime technician become an owner with a 50% buy-in. And when I say we, I mean Luigi. So I'm going to let him tell you all about it.
This technician had helped run the business for 14 years. He knew the work, he knew the customers, he knew the company. Small issue. Knowing the business does not magically produce the money to buy half of it. So Credit Banc helped structure a $350,000 financing strategy. $250,000 went towards the partner buy-in, another $150,000 went towards the hiring, equipment, and working capital, and launching a new sprinkler service line. The point was not just here is a loan, the point was tying together ownership, succession, and growth in one cohesive plan. If you want the full breakdown, head over to creditbank.io.
From there, we moved over to the Apple and OpenAI drama. Allegedly, Apple right now is suing OpenAI for stealing trade secrets. It looks like they were interviewing and hiring Apple employees, so OpenAI could make a huge hardware push these days. Lou, what are your thoughts on this?
He said, she said, but you know what? Where there's smoke, there's fire. This OpenAI likes breaking the rules.
But that's really funny coming from Apple, because I think one of Steve Jobs' famous quotes were, good artists copy, great artists, well, they steal. And it looks like OpenAI may have allegedly stolen from one of the greatest artists there was.
All work is derivative, right? And from stolen secrets, we went to stolen joy. Fun is getting expensive, folks. People already knew leaving the house was pricey. Concerts, sports tickets, parking, drinks, all require a second mortgage nowadays. But it seems like staying home costs more too. Streaming prices are up. Gaming consoles are still expensive. Digital fitness subscriptions are going up, and electricity prices are expected to hit record highs this summer. So even sitting on the couch now comes with a budget review. Beautiful country.
Not in my house. I'm still playing the original Super Mario Brothers on my Nintendo.
Matt's got his Atari 2600. Boop, 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 boop.
Come on, I'm a little bit better than that.
And if staying home is too expensive, you can always go to the airport, where your dignity gets placed in a gray plastic bin. Matt, this is a great story where architects and designers are making the least desirable place on the planet more friendly, and that's the airport. We talked about something airport designers call the recomposure zone. Yep, that's where you have to take off your shoes and your socks and belts and Lord knows what else. Right after security, where you put your shoes back on, find your belt, grab your laptop, and try to remember who you were before TSA got to second base.
Yeah. Come on. I mean, couldn't they just let people keep their shoes on and their belts at this point? Hasn't technology advanced enough? I mean, if you have TSA pre-check, you don't even have to take it off. This is just a stupid waste of money.
Matt, have you ever gotten spiked by a 6-inch stiletto? It could be dangerous. Well, airports are adding better lighting, calmer colors, plants, softer sounds, and clearer signs to help travelers settle down. It'll cost you an arm and a leg to fly, but at least you can be zen about it. Mostly.
All right, Lou, finally, back on the ground over here. The FDA is actually making a pathway to get drugs approved a lot faster. And I think this is well overdue, because China, it's been lapping us for a while. It looks like the HSS's Operation Trailblazer, which, don't mind my voice, it's a little raspy. I have a cold from the plane. Anyway, it looks like it's a set of reforms that are gonna cut drug approval timelines by 6 to 12 months. And in my opinion, it's gladly needed over here, because China, well, they've been lapping us. Lou, what are your thoughts on this one?
Matt, there's a public policy balancing act here, right? You want drugs to be safe, but China's running laps around us, buddy. So they've been moving faster in early stage drug development, and the US is trying not to get lapped again. The FDA really wants to reduce some of these early testing and paperwork requirements, allow rolling submissions and make the review process less painful. So long as they're safe, I think this is a good move by HHS.
I think so too. Plus, it's going to cut the cost of getting drugs approved by a great amount of money. Well, Lou, the IPO market, it's heating up again. It hasn't been this fertile in a while. We're seeing IPOs tied to everything from data centers, nuclear, and, well, you guessed it, AI. Even with the largest AI companies still sitting on the sidelines, Anthropic and OpenAI waiting to go public, this sounds really exciting. But, coming from my experience, it could be a little scary. It could be a little scary too, because as long as the AI trade works and the window stays open, everything's going to be just fine. But if things start to slow down, that window, guess what? It's going to get slammed shut and things will get ugly pretty fast.
Matt bringing the heat using fertile as a descriptor. Nice choice of words, Matthew. On to the Money Minute. Matthew covered New York City's push to crack down on subscription traps. Simple idea. If a customer can sign up online, they should be able to cancel online. They shouldn't have to call support, dig through the fine print, or beg a chatbot named Kevin for permission to leave. Recurring revenue is great. Predictable cash flow is also great. But if your model depends on confusion, friction, or making people too tired to cancel, you are not building loyalty. You are building future refunds, disputes, bad reviews, and chargebacks. How do the administrators and bureaucrats in New York State have time to worry about subscription traps with all the nonsense that's going on in that state?
Look, I don't agree with anything New York does, but I can get behind this one.
And Matt, I know what you missed most while you were on vacation. Finally, some quick hits from around the web. Forever stamps jumped to 82 cents this week. USPS also released Barbie commemorative stamps, which should have minimal impact on the economy since the last known stamp user was last seen in 2019.
And Lou, while you were watching the World Cup, I know you were going for your favorite Viking princess, or at least seeing the Viking princesses online. Erling Haaland somehow went from scoring goals to this internet sensation. From people taking Shrek selfies, sporting blonde wigs, look-alike contests, to get this, Lou, even dogs dressed like Vikings of Sir Haaland. Is Sir the right word for Viking? Probably not.
It took a tall Viking with a blonde ponytail to make soccer popular in America.
Hey, listen, my favorite was everybody, if you saw the Miami thing, they were all doing the row. They all sat there. There's probably hundreds of people sitting down on the floor doing the row. Did you see the TikTok when they were going up the escalator, all the fans doing the row?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
We had soccer fever for a month. It was good stuff.
All right.
And a Dutch museum spread more than 800 pounds of peanut butter across the floor to honor artist Wim T. Schippers. They also warned visitors with peanut allergies before entering, which feels like the exact kind of thing Darwin assumed would sort itself out.
All right, guys, that's the week. We covered business buy-ins, expensive couch time, airport recovery zones, which I still really don't understand, and worst of all, peanut art. Anyway, it was a very normal week over here in the United States. You haven't really missed anything. Can't wait to talk to you next week and talk about who actually wins this fiasco they call the World Cup. However, if you want to learn more, head over to our Substack, read the whole weekly, and if you haven't yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. We'll catch you next week.